Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks so much for joining me here. Good evening to you. We're looking at Solana just once more, quickly to round out the day just before the candlestick closes here on the daily. We want to look at, of course, the moving averages we discussed earlier today, some liquidation levels, and just generally understand kind of comparing Bitcoin to Solana to ensure we know specifically what it looks like and if it's inversely paired, perhaps it's concurrent. There's a lot of different things we can look at. Quickly to note too, congrats for our community members here. Look at this profit here, XRP, Matic, Litecoin, Link, XRP. And then earlier today, we saw some trades here as well from Matic, Litecoin, Solana, Matic. So yeah, I'll take one stop loss for about 10 or 11 good trades there. Certainly not a problem. Bots have been shorting and taking longs here. Earlier today, we took some longs and now we're shorting the market essentially. So just give you perspective there. What we want to look at is liquidation and get perspective also on this lower liquidation level. I talked about 176 as low as 170 earlier today being points of contention. I think the 176 seems like a likely culprit to get swept here soon, mainly just because we keep retesting this lower low. While it is, potential triple bottom, it still doesn't look like it wants to hold because of the way that we're kind of ascending and then we'd keep retesting it. Generally not a favorable sign. Either way, when we look at the larger picture here, once again, that's at 165 to 166. That's technically the heaviest concentration of liquidation. Okay, not proposing we're going to see that right now, but if Bitcoin does drop its bottom, trends towards 66K and some change, then we might very well see that from Solana. Okay, so again, hypothetically, if we're at the top right now, we might be starting our ABC pattern, looking for our A, which generally will hit that 0.236 fib level first and generally bounce. If this happens, we'll see a bearish backtest of the ascending trend line and then back down. Okay, so again, just some little things, food for thought, just standard trading things that kind of occur with or without your knowledge. I mean, it's easy to overlook or to misunderstand. There's a lot of stuff I overlook too, honestly. Definitely can't catch it all, but we do want to try to kind of cast a wide net here and recognize that, Solana's been pretty profitable, and we've also been pretty overextended, right? So we got a 9 on TD sequential here, and if I recall correctly from earlier, we have a 9 on TD sequential on the 4 hour. So there's a lot of reasons as to why the price action should pull back, especially if Bitcoin does. Now we look at this chart and Bitcoin's chart, they're both pretty similar in a lot of ways. Granted, Solana took off a lot heavier recently than the first uptick, but once it broke through that 0.382 fib level, it just didn't look back. Okay, let's look at some standard stuff here. We bounced off of 70 on the RSI, kind of reinforcing that resistance level at the 180, 185? So 185 is a tentative resistance. We got stochastic swinging down for the second time. While everything else still looks fairly bullish, we're well above moving averages, it doesn't mean we can't still come back down to that range. Okay, so again, if you kind of look at this, 165 is roughly right here. That's where all that liquidation is, okay? So it's not too far away. I'm not saying you should go ahead and short to that level, even though I'm tempted to short Solana right now. I generally try not to just because it's such a volatile coin, but there is potential here. Let's see if there's anything else kind of indicating. We got a bearish engulfing candle, generally not a favorable sign. MACD is officially diverging, and we are looking at stochastic swinging down for the second time. We can also see RSI kind of rejecting off that recent push at that 70 level. Okay, so again, when you hit 70 on the RSI, multiple different time frames, and you hit an overextension with TD sequential on multiple time frames, the likelihood of further downside is greater. Taking a look here at the hourly as well, we can recognize that stochastic is swinging down. RSI is kind of sort of lost 50, all right, and that's generally not favorable. And of course, we can see MACD is diverging. Again, those are less impactful on the hourly, but still something that's relevant. And we do take a look here, of course, at the moving averages. We lost the 20, testing the 50 now. We lose our most recent high at about 177, likely to see that as a bearish backtest of that line there and continue lower, okay? Again, it's not always that way, but generally when you lose a support level, it's reinforcing itself as a resistance later. We are technically above the cloud, but the lagging span is now free and clear below the price action, and the conversion line is below the baseline. Those are unfavorable for long positions, so you shouldn't be taking a long position right now with confidence anyways, because of that factor, right? Now, does it mean you take a short? Kinda, not really. When I say kinda, I'm referring to the 4 hour and the daily time frame, giving us the indication that we're probably going to see the price turn around. But technically from the hourly standpoint here, we still got a few hours before we get confirmation that the price is going to break down below that more recent support. So me personally, when I combine everything together, plus the fact that Bitcoin's more likely to pull back, and obviously if we compare these two charts, you can see Solana is struggling a lot more in the last 12 to 24 hours. I think there's a great chance we are going to see further downside for Solana. And if you were to consider a trade, what does that look like? Where are the key levels? Well, generally speaking, we want to look at point of control. So if we look at the daily time frame, let's just quickly reiterate and reaffirm this here for you. Because again, when we looked at this previously, it's still the same, really, that 145 to 150 range. That doesn't help us too much right now. And what helps us here is understanding that 172 is the more local point of control, which does imply that we're not that far off from that area. Now, does the price just pivot and bounce off of that generally? No. But if we look at the Fibonacci retracement levels, we've got this 160, 153 as secondary and tertiary considerations for support. But more important, if we look at this level here, we can see there's, like 700. If you add all three of these up, there's somewhere in the range of about $1.5 to $2 billion in liquidation at about 166. Okay. It's no surprise that, that is just above that 0.382 fib level, the most recent high. Okay. So I would say that if you're going to consider a target, the more recent high here, roughly 165, 166, would be a solid consideration for entry for a long, possibly, or more importantly, a target for a short. I'll post this on our playout chart here, Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Keep in mind, too, to our premium members who are available on our Discord or utilizing it, I highly recommend you do. I have trade alerts now where I provide you with detailed trade alerts that you can actually follow based on your profile. And then also, of course, some live charts here, too, for you, so you can follow my more macro analysis on my coins. Okay. Again, it's all there for you, all the resources. If you're not watching my university videos and you haven't yet, you're probably skipping out on some really good stuff, too. Either way, I hope this made sense. I described this correctly. Deeply appreciate you watching. Do yourself a favor. Join us over with BitUnix. Phenomenal exchange. Excellent rewards if you use my link to register. We've used them for over, actually just about a year now. And it's been a phenomenal experience. No KYC or VPN. I'd highly recommend you check them out. All right, folks. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.